Hello everybody and welcome back to A Royal Reader. My name is Cici and today we are going to be discussing my writing. So I have been writing for as long as I can remember. I think the first things that I wrote were random stories on what was it called? It was called something like Quotive, I think, and they were all like One Direction fan fiction. They were Twilight fan fiction. At one point, I did write a Shadowhunters fan fiction and a Vampire Academy fan fiction. So I have been writing for as long as I can remember, basically, and it's always been my dream to become an author. Obviously, so far, that has not happened, but I am not discouraged just yet. So basically in this video I'm going to talk to you guys about all of the current novels that I have in progress and sort of give you guys a bit of information about my writing style and how I tend to sort of go into a new sort of idea and give you a couple of excerpts from my current works in progress. And hopefully in the future we can do some writing vlogs as well, so I can take you guys along with me for the journey. I always find it really inspiring watching other people go through the drafting processes of their novels, and then at the end of it they've published it, whether it's via traditional published or indie published. I find it so inspirational, so I think that this is a way that I'm going to hold myself accountable for writing and keeping up with just trying to get my dream. So at this current moment in time, the longest thing that I have written was a fan fiction that was, I think, 127k for words. I'm not going to say what it was or what it is, but that is the most amount of words that I've ever done. I didn't realize how long it was until I think a couple of years ago when I randomly looked it up again. So I know I am capable of writing things. I know I'm capable of writing that. So I know I have it in me. I just have to have the motivation. So at the moment I currently have 7 novel ideas in the works. 3 of them are only in the outlining stages, so I haven't actually written anything for them, and the rest of them I have actually made progress in them. So I'll tell you about the ones that I have sort of begun outlining. So the first one is a collaboration that I am co-writing with one of my best friends. So this is a new adult fantasy. It is involving sirens and pirates and sort of enemies to lovers. It's very gory, it's definitely dark, and we are going down the route where sirens did kill people, and that is what they were known for. They're not the pretty things that you see in Disney. So that is what our novel is. It's going to be 2 point of views, and at the moment we are still trying to figure out who's going to write which character and how we're going to sort of flesh out everything. So we haven't started anything with this yet, but I'm really excited to whenever we can. At the moment we are both going to just write 2 sort of experts from both of the characters' point of views and seeing who we prefer better to write which character. The next one that I have is a idea that I had from a sort of month of binge watching K-dramas. So I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of like self-insert an idea, but this is a sort of K-drama-esque fantasy. I want to say it's going to be YA, maybe leaning more towards like an adult YA, if that makes it like new adult. We'll just say new adult. Where we have our main character and her best friend somehow manage to be transported back in time to the Joseon era in South Korea, or Korea, and because our main character is obviously, she's not going to be Korean, she's going to be a non-Asian looking person, the people are going to think that she is a witch, and she has to try and figure out how to escape, and also falling in love with the prince and the prince falling in love with her. That is a very, very, very quick synopsis of the idea. I don't really have much written, or at least outlined for this anyway. It is just that, basically. And the next one that I have that is still in the outlining stages is my Cinderella retelling. I have an idea to have a series of sort of standalones that are all within the same universe, that are all fairy tale retellings that are gender bent. So instead of, you know, Cinderella being a girl, it's a boy, and so on and so forth. I really want this to be sort of very inclusive, so I want it to be involving like different races and different sexualities and things like that. I don't really have too much for this at all, apart from just the idea, basically. Alright, let us get into the stories that I actually have started writing. So the one that has the least amount of words is my story that I have dubbed Project Witch. So this is along the veins of like Kingdom of the Wicked, Beautiful Creatures, just sort of very gothic and dark and mysterious. I have only written 1,810 words in this. This is going to be set during, I want to say like Regency, Victorian era. It's going to be an adult fantasy where we've got our main character. She has death magic, which is not received very well by the coven, and her mum is setting her up to become the head of the coven because she has reached the age where she has to step up as the, you know, second in line for the head of the coven. And she is dealing with this attraction that she has to one of the stable boys, and there's also this dark magic brewing inside of her. Yes, it's just very dark and mysterious and spooky, gothic vibes, autumn vibes. Yeah, I really like the idea for this. I'm obsessed with like the vibe that I have of this. The magic system is all going to be based in nature, because I feel like that is a lot of what Wiccan and like witches is. It's all based within nature and using herbs and things like that. It's going to play a lot on sort of the prices and the deals of magic and doing things that you shouldn't do, and things like that. So I haven't written much of this. Definitely do want to try, but I feel like I need to flesh out the characters a little bit more, because it's going to be from one perspective, but there's going to be a lot of characters that have a lot of sort of pull and presence within the story. So I do want to sort of flesh out the characters more. The next one that I have that has the second, at least the next amount of words anyway, is what I have called Project Time Travel Gang. So this one I have written 4,171 words. This is sort of like a urban fantasy, sci-fi, because I guess time travel is sort of sci-fi, where we've got our main character who somehow manages to bring 5 people from different points in time from the past to the future, and she has to try and figure out how to get them back to where they belong. Also, she's falling in love with one of them at the same time. There's also like mystery involving like her parents, and if her parents were ever involved in something similar to this. This is very cozy. I want to say it's like a cozy mystery sort of feeling. She lives above a bookstore that is also like a coffee shop at the same time, and it's just really cozy. I really love the main character for this. I don't know why. She just has like a strong special place in my heart. I had this idea, I don't know when or how, but I was like, you know, how funny would it be if like 5 people from different points in time got brought to the future. So we've got a character from like a royal from sometime at some point, and then we've got somebody from the 1950s, we have a caveman, and then we also have, I think, somebody from the 18th century, I think, and then I can't remember what the last one was. Oh, I think we have an orc from the Industrial Revolution period. So those are like the characters basically, and then we've got our main character who's trying to figure out how to get them back and to stop falling in love with the royal. So the next one that I have called Project Shadows. This I have been sort of playing with the idea for the last like couple of years, but I've only just started writing it. So this one has 6,956 words. This is a new adult fantasy where we have a mercenary group tasked with bringing back a sort of very valuable item to their king, and once they get to the place where they have to collect this item, they discover that it is a princess who has this extremely dark, like, destructive power that she doesn't really know how to control, and she's been locked up for her entire life because of this power. That's the very basic premises. There's twists and turns and things like that. I still haven't fully fleshed this out. I started writing it and I didn't like the tone of how I've written it. It doesn't feel right for the story, and it doesn't sound like me for some reason. So I'm really struggling with this one at the moment. I don't know how I'm going to fix it. I also had an idea of it only being one person that's going to do it, or if it's going to be a group of people, because I kind of wanted it to be sort of a love triangle, but then I didn't know if I wanted it to be. So this one is very much still sort of in the works kind of thing. So I'm not entirely too sure how I'm going to figure this out, but I really do want to write it because the ending that I have in mind is just amazing. This is just going to be part of a duology, I think, whereas the Project Witch I think is also going to be a duology. The Time Traveler is just a standalone. Yeah, like I said, the Cinderella retelling, the fairy tale retellings, they're all standalones just in the same universe. And then lastly, we have my main project, which I've been working on for about 3, maybe even 4 years now, is one I have called Project TOA. TOA is the acronyms for the sort of soft working title. This is very reminiscent of ACOTAR, Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, Kingdom of, From Blood and Ash, that type of fantasy. We've got fae and humans, we've got friends to lovers to enemies, we've got, it's like a villain origin story. This is only going to be a duology. I have everything planned out for this. I just need to write it. So far I have 18,963 words. I have been really struggling to try and write this because there's so many elements in it that I am still not 100% on, and the way I usually write things is in chronological order, so I am trying to break out of that by writing different things in different parts. Like I'll write chapter 5 instead of chapter 3, or chapter 20 instead of chapter 15, that type of thing. But I am still trying to figure out if I want as many sort of magical creatures in it as much as I want. I still need to figure out the sort of evil guy villain aspects and the sort of magic system, but I don't want to get too bogged down in that. So there's just a lot of things that I have to work on. So those are all of the story ideas that I have. Now going into the way that I usually write. So 9 times out of 10 I get most of my story ideas from dreams that I've had. Usually it's just a scene, or it is just like images and things like that, and then I create a story from that. For Project TOA, I had a dream about the ending scene. So I already knew how the story was going to end, which was definitely helpful. I just needed to figure out the beginning and the middle parts. So what I have managed to do is I have fleshed it out enough that I have one sentence for each of the chapters, so I know exactly what I'm supposed to write. I have a little bit of dialogue. I have like sort of feelings and like vibes of each of the like chapters and things like that, so I know what I'm supposed to write. That's because I know the whole story. For Project Witch, I don't really know much. This was another one where I had a dream, and I think it was the ending. I had a dream about the ending, and then I sort of built everything around that ending. This one I still haven't really fleshed out as much. I know a lot about the characters, just not so much about how they get to places A, B, and C kind of thing. Project Shadows, I have not really outlined anything. I basically know how it's going to end. I know a couple of scenes involving characters and like relationship buildings and things like that, and that's pretty much it. So I really need to sort of get like the 3-act structure going and flesh out the characters and do a little bit of world building and things like that before I can start. I'm definitely a plotter. I really don't like going in by the seat of my pants. It stresses me out. I can't do it. So I plot. Sometimes I can go with just like a 1-sentence plot, and then build from there, which is kind of what I've done for Project Witch. I knew what I wanted, so I just started writing down feelings and thoughts and stuff. Everything else, I do tend to like writing an actual outline. I think the outline that I have for Project TOA is like almost 5k, 7k, something along those lines. It's dense and it's heavy because I like knowing as much as I can, especially for like a fantasy that's in the fantasy world and things like that. So that's pretty much how I go about writing. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope you guys will stick around for more writing vlogs. I definitely want to write and film some so I can upload it and just also keep it as like a diary basically. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Do give it a thumbs up if you did. Let me know if you would like to see more of these and I will definitely start doing some. If you would like to see more of me, then do be sure to check out my Twitter and Instagram. I have links down in the description box below, so do be sure to check those out and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I hope you guys are having a lovely day and I will see you guys soon with another video.